Shri Shri Radhakirtan Gopinath ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai, Gauranitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. For reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, we should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the superless human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srimad Bhagavatam, the altar. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by regular service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch light of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear devotees. Happy to be here with all of you. Thank you for coming. You could be sleeping in, but you chose to come here, and I am grateful for that. Which avatar are we discussing right now in Bhagavatam? Parashuram. What weapon does Parashuram carry? An axe. Where Prabhupada says chopper. Because he chops up all the rogues. It's going to be a little gory today. Be prepared. If you're not going to Pride Festival, good, that's safe. But still you're going to see some body parts in the Bhagavatam even today. But this is transcendental because it's connected to the pastimes of the Lord's avatar. On the streets of Toronto, not so transcendental. But fortunately, the Vaishnavas are going to make it transcendental by chanting the holy names. Those brave souls, a few of them are going to the actual, what do you call it? The site of some dangerous thing. What do you call it? Hazardous. They're going to the hazardous zone. Others of us who are less prepared for seeing those sites, you're welcome to join us. We'll be going somewhere a little safer this afternoon. And today we're focusing on the second half of chapter 15 of Canto 9. We'll hear the intrigue that happened between Kartavirya Arjuna and Jamadagni. And do you all remember what happened yesterday? I actually missed the class, so someone needs to catch me up. Can someone give a summary? Pop quiz. What do you? If not, we'll just read the summary. Yeah.
Kartavirya Arjuna and his men were out hunting, and they went to the house of the sage Jamadagni, and Jamadagni received them very well, but Kartavirya Arjuna, despite having 1,000 arms and being able to travel anywhere in the universe, he lacked the accommodating cow that Jamadagni possessed. So he asked his men to steal the cow once they left, and now we're picking up right where they leave.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay, so there's some greed in Kartavirya Arjuna. And this is in the lineage of, leading up to Krishna, right? Can someone confirm this is the Moon Dynasty? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. You say that with a look of doubt on your face. Soma.
This is the descendants of Soma.
Okay. So then it's leading up to Krishna. Yeah. Thank you. So text 27, we will begin. Let's raise your hand if reading one by one is better for you. Raise your hand if reading all together is better for you. Oh, we're about half and half. What to do? Today let's do one by one, yeah. Thereafter, Kartavirya Arjuna, having left with the Kamadhenu, Parashuram returned. Sorry, it's a little confusing. Thereafter, Kartavirya Arjuna, having left with the Kamadhenu, Parashuram returned to the ashram. When Parashuram, the youngest son of Jamadagni, heard about Kartavirya Arjuna's nefarious deed, he became as angry as a trampled snake. Go ahead on the lady's side.
Taking up his fierce chopper, his shield, his bow, and fleet of arrows, Lord Krishna exceedingly angry Kartavirya Arjuna just as a lion chases an elephant.
As King Kartavirya Arjuna entered his capital, Mahishmati, he saw Lord Parashuram, the best of the Greek dynasty, coming after him, holding a chopper, shield, bow, and arrows. Lord Parashuram was covered with a black deer skin, and his matted locks of hair appeared like the sunshine.
He's an avatar. He is completely transcendental. So his matted locks are glowing like the sun. They're effulgent. And this brings to mind the example of Rishabhadev, also an incarnation of the Lord. And it's even described that the waste from his body, the stool that came from his body was so fragrant that it had a beautiful scent that traveled for miles around. So how can we understand the Lord? But we can at least understand theoretically that every part of the Lord's body is transcendental. And again, just a contextual contrast. People are celebrating Pride, and it's nice, equal rights. Yes, we support equal rights. We're all souls. We all have a right to happiness and connecting to God. But to simply be proud of a material body made of bones and blood and flesh and stool is not something to be proud of. But the Lord's body, every part of it is transcendental. Hare Krishna. Next.
On seeing Parashurama, Kartavirya immediately cleared him and sent many elephants, chariots, horses, and infantry soldiers equipped with clubs, swords, arrows, krispis, satagnis, and many similar weapons to fight against him. Kartavirya sent 17 full akshahinis of soldiers to check Parashurama, but Lord Parashurama alone killed all of them.
So this is no small feat. Kartavirya Arjuna himself had, 1,000 arms?
1,000 arms, and I forgot to mention, he also imprisoned Ravana. He was powerful enough to imprison Ravana like
A monkey.
Like
Wow.
And just let him go, just like that.
Extremely powerful soldier, warrior. And he sent 17 full akshohinis. Prabhupada explains in the purport. One akshohini has 21,870 chariots and elephants. Can you just imagine? Then 109,350 infantry soldiers, 100,000 people, and 65,610 horses. This is one akshohini. And he sent 17 akshohinis. So this will glorify the potency of Lord Parashuram. Let's see what happens. Bruce.
Lord Parashurama, being expert in killing the military strength of the enemy, worked with the speed of the mind in the wind, slicing his enemies with his chopper. Parashu.
So it appears his name comes from Parashu. I didn't realize that. Yeah, Parashu Rama. Rama is one who gives pleasure. One who gives pleasure with his axe. He gets pleasure. Is that actually? That makes sense. Yeah, because Krishna likes to fight. It's in us. We get, and we're going to talk about forgiveness here. When we don't properly forgive, then we can get angry with people and want to fight them. We might want them to be in pain. We might want to cause them suffering and get into violent acts. And that's there because it's a perverted reflection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's fighting spirit. And so it can be used in Krishna service. And Lord Parashuram is showing us how he derives pleasure from using his axe. And when the Lord kills someone, what happens? They're liberated. So actually the Lord's protecting someone and the Lord's killing someone is actually the same. Because everything the Lord does, any contact with the Lord is like the contact of any liquid with the sun. The sun will extract pure, distilled water. So in that way, we can see that the Lord, although killing, he's feeling pleasure because which one? Which one? Churning of the milk ocean? Yeah. Do we get a description of a battle? Yeah. Like detailed description? I don't remember a very detailed. I'm sure there's a battle, but like there's a detailed description I'm thinking of earlier in the Bhagavatam with another avatar of the Lord. Varahadev? Yes. Who does he fight? Hiranyaksha? Yes. Hiranyaksha and Varahadev have this epic battle in Canto 3. And it's one of my favorite fight scenes. I used to love watching action movies, and you can get that same pleasure from hearing about the Lord's battles. So let's continue hearing the battle.
By manipulating his axe and arrows, Lord Parashuram cut to pieces the shields, flags, bows, and bodies of Kartavirya Arjuna's soldiers, who fell on the battlefield, muddying the ground with their blood. Seeing these reverses, Kartavirya Arjuna, infuriated, rushed to the battlefield.
The blood muddied the ground. Can you imagine? Hare Krishna. Okay, go on.
Then Kartavirya Arjuna, with his 1,000 arms, simultaneously fixed arrows on 500 bows to kill Lord Parshuram. But Lord Parshuram, the best of fighters, released enough arrows with only one bow to cut to pieces immediately all the arrows and bows in the hands of Kartavirya.
It's so wonderful to hear about the fighting prowess of the Lord's incarnation. Because, yeah, we have this desire to hear about violence. That's why the media, they often talk about violent criminal acts because they know that'll get them viewers, that'll make them money. And so let's use that tendency to hear about the amazing battles of Lord Parashuram and just see, can you imagine someone shooting an arrow at you and you can cut it with your sword? Like imagine the speed that the arrow is coming at you. What to speak of 500 at the same time. So we can see, and you can't even fathom, how do you cut to pieces 500 arrows? So this is the Lord's inconceivable strength. The kind of what?
Anime?
Anime, yeah.
I've seen that. Shooting arrows and then this guy just using a sword too. I'm like, wow. But it's fictional and this is real.
Yeah, yes. So someone should make an anime version of this. Okay, next.
When his arrows were cut to pieces, Kartavirya Arjuna uprooted many trees and hills with his own hands and again rushed strongly toward Lord Parashurama to kill him. But Parashurama then used his axe with great force to cut off Kartavirya Arjuna's arms, just as one might lop off the hoods of a serpent.
Wow. And this act of ripping up trees and stones was also done in another battle between Lord Balaram and, does anyone know the Asura that he fought? Dvivida? Dvivida, this gorilla. There's another epic fight scene. This is in the 10th canto. And Lord Balaram is with his gopis, and Dvivida gorilla is going around and creating trouble for the brahmanas. He's passing urine and stool in their sacrificial fires, and he's harassing women and kidnapping people. He's causing so much trouble. And he comes to disturb Lord Balaram and his gopis. He starts making faces, showing his teeth. And so Lord Balaram becomes angry, and they start to fight, and they both are ripping up trees. No, I think Dwiveda gorilla, he's ripping up trees, throwing them at Lord Balaram, and once he rips up the whole forest, because Lord Balaram would, with his club, I believe, he would smash the tree to pieces. And then, once the whole forest was gone, then Dwiveda gorilla started picking up boulders and hurling them at Lord Balaram. So very similar to this. You can't imagine the strength.
That's
And-
the standard way probably that Vanaras fight, because in Ramayana there are detailed description of Sri Ram's army. The Vanaras were fighting.
The Vanaras would do the same.
Because they didn't have weapons.
Okay. Unbelievable strength. Have you ever tried weeding? And you find a deep-rooted piece of grass, and even a piece of grass, we're so weak in Kali Yuga, we can't uproot. What to speak of a tree? So, the glories of Parashuram continue. Let's hear.
Thereafter, Parshuram cut off like mountain peak the head of Kartavirarjun, who had already lost his arms. Then Kartavirarjun, 10,000 sons saw their father killed. They all fled in fear. Then Parshuram, having killed the enemy, released the Kamdini, which had undergone great suffering, and brought it back with its calf to his residence, where he gave it to his father, Jamdagni.
Thank you. Next. Sudarshan, please.
Parshuram described to his father and brothers his activities in killing Kartavirarjuna. Upon hearing of these deeds, Jamadagni spoke to his sons as follows.
Next.
O great hero, my dear son Parshuram, you have unnecessarily killed the king, who is supposed to be the embodiment of all demigods. Thus you have committed a sin.
My dear son, we are all Brahmanas and have become worshipable for the people in general because of our quality of forgiveness. It is because of this quality that Lord Brahma, the supreme spiritual master of this universe, has achieved this post.
And the final verse.
The duty of a Brahmana is to cultivate the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating the sun, illuminating like the sun. The supreme personality of God Hari is pleased with those who are forgiven.
One more, actually.
My dear son, killing a king with an emperor is more severely sinful than killing a Brahmana. But now, if you become Krishna conscious and worship the holy places, you can atone for this great sin.
Thank you. So unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to look into this. I can't fully understand. Perhaps if someone does, we can discuss that. Parshuram, he's the Supreme Lord, so he can't make a mistake. And so there's some lila happening here. But the lesson we are to understand is that Brahmanas have a quality of forgiveness, and Kshatriyas should be properly respected. Yes, the king is the embodiment of all the demigods, and so one shouldn't unnecessarily kill or even criticize a leader. One should try to see the good, and if there is a serious issue with a leader, then to bring up that issue in the right way, but to give great respect to leaders and kings. So let's go on to the verse itself, which is text 40 for today. Okay. So Kshamaya is simply by forgiving. Rochate becomes pleasing. Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. Brahmi, in connection with Brahminical qualifications. Sori is the sun god, Yatha as Prabha, the sunshine. So Jamadagni is saying that the quality of the Brahmana's forgiveness is illuminating like the sun. And Kshaminam refers to those Brahmanas who are forgiving. Ashu, very soon, Bhagavan, the Lord, Tushyate becomes pleased. Hari, the Lord, is Ishwara, the supreme controller. So very simple. The Brahmanas are forgiving. They have this quality of Shama, and this is also in Gita, right? Shama, Damas, Tapa, Shaucham, Shantim, Arjavam, Evacha. Krishna describes the 8 qualifications of a Brahmana. And this forgiveness is very pleasing to Krishna. So we'll recite the verse. Kshamaya rochate lakshmir Brahmi sori yatha prabha Kshaminam ashu bhagavams Tushyate harir ishvaraha Kshamaya rochate lakshmir Brahmi sori yatha prabha Shaminam ashu bhagavams Tushyate harir ishvaraha
Shamaya rochate lakshmir
Shamaya rochate lakshmir Brahmi sori yatha prabha
Brahmi sori yatha prabha
Shaminam ashu bhagavan.
Tushyate Hari Ishwaraha.
Kashyamaya roshate lakshmi.
Rochate lakshmir
Brahmi sori yatha prabha
Shamanina ashu bhagavam
Sushyate Hare Ishvara.
Shamaya rochate lakshmi.
Tushyate harir ishvaraha. Thank you. And go to the translation. I like to do the synonyms first, just because otherwise I get mechanical in the Sanskrit. Translation: the duty of a Brahmin is to culture the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating like the sun. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is pleased with those who are forgiving. And short purport, I'll just read it. Different personalities become beautiful by possessing different qualities. Chanakya Pandit says that the cuckoo bird, although very black, is beautiful because of its sweet voice. Similarly, a woman becomes beautiful by her chastity and faithfulness to her husband, and an ugly person becomes beautiful when he becomes a learned scholar. In the same way, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras become beautiful by their qualities. Brahmanas are beautiful when they are forgiving, Kshatriyas when they are heroic and never retreat from fighting, Vaishyas when they enrich cultural activities and protect cows, and Shudras when they are faithful in the discharge of duties pleasing to their masters. Thus everyone becomes beautiful by his special qualities. And the special quality of the Brahman, as described here, is forgiveness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the purpose of our life, the success of our life, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, some sit here, Hari Hoshanam, just like here, Tushyate Hari. Same words we're hearing is that pleasing Krishna is the perfection of life. And whatever we're doing, if it's not pleasing Krishna, then it is Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam. It is totally, completely, utterly useless. That's what that line is saying. Pleasing Krishna is our existential position, our existential duty. And unfortunately, we have lost touch with our true nature, and we're trying to please our own senses, and so it turns prema into kama. And when we try to find satisfaction with kama, then we end up going into Krodha and Lobha and Modha and Mada and Matsarya. All of these bad qualities, anger and envy and illusion and greed, and there's no end. It's like a fire, and the more you feed that fire with kama, then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So people in this Pride celebration, some have some genuine insight about not being the body, and many are simply feeding the fire by being more and more attached to bodily identifications. And so, rather than feeding this fire, we need to douse the fire with the hearing and chanting of Krishna's names and pastimes. And as we douse this fire of our material lust, we're also nourishing the creeper of devotion by hearing and chanting about Krishna. Lord Chaitanya says that you put the jal, like this Ganga jal you get. So what is the nectar that we need to give to our heart is hearing about Krishna. And by hearing about Krishna, it is said, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvara gunais tatra samasate sura. All the good qualities of the devatas manifest in the character of one who is serving Krishna, who is a devotee of Krishna. And so the Vaishnava is endowed with all of the good qualities of the Brahmanas, because Vaishnavas are even more than the cultured Brahmanas. And we see here from Jamadagni that this quality of forgiveness is especially pleasing to Lord Hari. So why is forgiveness so pleasing to the Lord? What do you say? Why is forgiveness pleasing? You can even say for yourself. Why is it pleasing when another person in your life is forgiving? Yes.
So when you forgive someone, you can focus on yourself.
Okay, so you're talking from our perspective. Very nice. Yeah, we can not get hung up thinking about what someone else did wrong, and we can actually work on improving our deficiencies. That's really nice. I was thinking of this analogy. If we don't forgive, it's like every interaction we have with someone, if we get some disturbance, we feel like I'm the victim, then we're carrying a backpack, metaphorically, and every interaction, we're taking a stone and putting it in our backpack and walking on to our next conversation, and just carrying this heavy, heavy load of grudge. So yeah, it's a good point, Himanshu. It's good for the individual to forgive, what to speak of the benefit we give to others by not holding grudges. What else? Why is it pleasing? Yeah.
I think for one to be able to forgive, they need to give up their false ego and pride. Only then can you forgive. So forgiveness also entails the quality of stopping to think of yourself as somebody should have done this to me. That ego was.
We don't think we deserve anything.
Yeah.
We're not entitled. Yes. Yeah, there was this beautiful point I heard from Mother Irmala, that someone who doesn't, how did she say it? That if you get something which is very valuable and you don't have to pay very much for it, then, oh Krishna, I can't remember how she put it. It was so brilliant. You remember? You've heard this? But basically the point is, when you don't think you deserve anything, and then whatever you get, you're so grateful for. But if you think that you deserve a lot of things, then even you get so much and you won't be satisfied with it. Like we see Kartavirya Arjuna here, that he has so much power. He had these 1,000 arms, very opulent person. He was king, and yet he had this attachment to having this one thing he didn't have, the Kamadhenu cow. So we need to be careful about just looking for what we don't have. Are we going to say something on forgiveness, Bruce? I saw you lifting your hand. Okay. Yeah.
You just said that last thing. As soon as we were finishing that, we had everything, but he needed just one more thing. And I chuckled, and then I instantly realized I'm also like that.
Are you comfortable giving an example?
So instantly I thought, like, for example, me, I really want to be really good at harmonium, for example. And then I have all these other qualities, and I have, it's not like I'm unwanted just because I can't play harmonium very nicely. It's not like that. Everyone still likes me.
There's other services you can do.
Yes. And it's like, before I couldn't play that, I wanted to learn how to play kartals, and I was like, just this, and I'll be happy. And that's what I realized.
Yes.
Like, I have everything that I need, but I still want to more.
Yeah, that's a great point. Even in the realm of direct devotional activities, we need to be careful about this, always wanting something more. Like, when I get initiated, then I'll be satisfied. And then you get initiated, you get your cool, flashy new name. Hey everyone, I'm this Devi Dasi, or I'm this Das, Yeah, they call me Prabhu now. And then, what about second initiation? It'd be so cool to do that. Then you get second initiated, and look at me. And then it gets kind of, all right, yeah, I'm used to that now. What's next? Yeah, be a temple president, or be a, yeah.
In that sense, it's very interesting because Bhagavatam sometimes it's like looking into a mirror. It holds up a mirror.
Yeah.
So that's what you are.
Yes, definitely. And I expressed my ambitious nature to this senior devotee, Radhakrishna Prabhu in Houston, a really wonderful soul. He is really straight. He's a disciple of Tamal Krishna Goswami. And Tamal Krishna Goswami had this nature of being very strong and not mincing words. So Radhakrishna Prabhu has inherited that quality of his guru. So I explained to Radhakrishna Prabhu, I feel this ambition in myself, like always wanting more, and what about becoming, taking on this role or this service, like broad, I want to do this big service. And he said, well, what will you do when you get there? So I thought that was really interesting. Like, he basically is saying, imagine yourself, you're already there, now what? Because we're all caught up in the dream of what will it be like when I'm there, and we have this whole illusion, and it can be in so many forms. This is how Maya works. She says, look over here, it's going to be so nice. And then we get all caught up in this dream, and then once we get there, I'm still me. I've still got my mind with me. And that's really the problem, is we need to purify our consciousness so that whatever external situation we get ourselves into, whether it's I want to be really good at this instrument, I want this service role, if we get to that place, we need to have purity of consciousness so that Tushyate Harir Ishvara, we can actually please Krishna. Because Krishna doesn't care if we're expert at instruments. Krishna doesn't care if we're some big leader. Krishna doesn't care if we're initiated, in a sense. We're making an extreme to make a point. Krishna cares about what? He wants our affection. Yeah, that's what Krishna really wants. And that's why he says twice in the Bhagavad Gita verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yo Me Bhaktya Prayachati Taraham Bhakti Uparhatam Ashnami Prayatatmana. I will eat or accept the offerings you give with bhakti. This bhakti is very simple. And if you're just a nice person, you will please Krishna. If you're a nice person, directing your niceness towards pleasing Krishna. Not just being nice for the sake of being a humanitarian, getting some popularity in this world. So let us focus on the essence, which is developing good qualities so that we can please Krishna. It's said by Lord Kapila Dev that actually good qualities are the ornaments of the Vaishnava. Does anyone know this verse? How does it go? Titikshava karunika suhrada sarvadehinam. He's describing the qualities of a sadhu. Titikshava is tolerant, karunika, very merciful, a suhrada sarvadehinam, a friend to all. Ajata shatru, they have no enemy. Their enemy was never born. Ajata shatru. Shanta, they're very peaceful. Sadhava sadhu bhushana. These are the ornaments of the Vaishnava. They're adorned with all of these wonderful qualities. And we just read yesterday in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya is describing how do we share Krishna consciousness with others? Is it through philosophy? Are you going to convince someone philosophically? Yes, that's part of it. But what's really the essence is the character of the Vaishnava. That's what will win someone's heart. And that's what will win Krishna's heart. So whether it's for conditioned souls, trying to help them come up to the practice of bhakti, whether it's our friends, our peers in the ashram that we're serving alongside, whether it's towards Krishna, having good qualities, being a kind person, that's really what is most essential. And whatever expertise in external things, that can come. But let us not forget that having good character is essential. Vaishnava sadachar. Yeah. And one last reference I want to share is very similar here. We get a few more instructions from Narada Muni about how to please Krishna. You remember this one? Dayaya sarva bhuteshu. So the last line of this verse from Canto 4 is very similar. Here we see Tushyate Harir Ishwara. This is Tushyati Ashu Janardana. So how do we bring pleasure to the Lord Janardana? Dayaya, by mercy. And Daya Sarva Bhuteshu. So he's saying towards all living entities, be merciful. Not just to the devotees, not just to nice people who are coming to our preaching programs, but Sarva Bhuteshu. That means the ants on the sidewalk. That means the homeless people. That means the crazy people who are walking around dressed in the 4 directions at the Pride Parade. And how else do we please Krishna? By santushtya yena kenava. Somehow or other being satisfied. Santushtya yena kenava. This is a very nice quality. No matter what's happening, no matter what type of prasad comes out, whether it's 10 items that are all so delicious, or whether we just get some khichdi, then santushtya yena kenava. I'm happy because Govinda has given me this, Gopinath has given me this wonderful prasad. Or maybe I've got some amazing service that I love to do. Or maybe I have to clean the bathroom and I really don't like it, but santushtya yena kenava, let me somehow or other try to be satisfied here. That will be very pleasing to Krishna. And finally, sarvendriyo pashantya cha, which means controlling the senses. Controlling the lust, especially. Developing this self-control is very pleasing to Krishna. This is a quality of the Brahmana as well. Yeah. Sorry. It's 4.31.19. Yeah. So this is how we quickly bring pleasure. Tushyati ashu janardana. very quickly you can bring pleasure to Krishna by developing these qualities. So, pop quiz. How should we treat all living entities? With what quality? Mercy. What should we, in whatever situation we're in, we should try to be satisfied. And we need to control our senses. Yes. Very nice. Can we all read the translation together? By showing mercy to all living entities, being satisfied somehow or other, and restricting the senses from sense enjoyment, one can very quickly satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardana. And samsiddhir haritoshanam. If Krishna is pleased, samsiddhi, our life is completely perfect. Because if Krishna is pleased with you, does Krishna have any lack of resources? Does Krishna have any lack of influence? Any lack of connections? Any lack of affection? Any lack of intelligence? Power? He's got it all. And if you are dear to that person, what are you lacking? Everything is there. So let's try to please Krishna by developing forgiveness and all the other nice qualities which come automatically by practice of bhakti. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any other reflections before we close up? No need. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, were you raising also? Okay. Yeah.
So sometimes, thank you for asking.
Hare Krishna.
Sometimes devotees might feel like they don't have any good qualities. And so they might think, how can I help anyone, even if I try to preach? So what would you say to devotees who struggle with self-image?
Low self-confidence. Yeah. I don't have good qualities. Yeah, I'm very low. Well, we should see ourselves through the vision of our well-wishers. We're stuck in our own self-limited conception. So we should hear the words of those well-wishers who genuinely care for us, because they're not just giving us flattery. Some devotees, when they're trying to learn how to glorify and praise, they'll flatter. But our mature well-wishers, they're not flattering. They're genuinely saying, I see this in you, and you have this. And if you just keep on the path, you'll manifest that more and more. So we should try to see not with our vision, but through Shastra and through those who are living the Shastra. Shastra Chakshu. Yeah, how does that sound? Hare Krishna. Thank you. And someone else was raising their hand here? Rohan and Sudarshan.
So, we're talking about forgiveness. And for the sake of just debating it out for a second, right? Krishna, in his different incarnations, killed, did not forgive. And neither did his close devotees, like the Pandavas, he said, go fight, kill, did not say forgive. So, in this context, how do we understand what forgiveness would actually mean?
Yeah, that's a great point. Does forgiveness mean we should just let people walk all over us and cause violence? Yeah, and the Pandavas, that's the whole Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna said, no, I want to forgive. Let's just not cause all this violence. Yeah. So, forgive and forget is this common saying. But no, we shouldn't forget. We should be not blissfully ignorant. We should see with practical vision that there is a danger in certain individuals. And so we forgive them knowing that they are a pure soul deep down, but it's the material conditioning that's causing them to misbehave. So it said, hate the sin, not the sinner. So we should deal with practical issues and dangers, yet see the deep down there's a pure soul there. And give some benefit of the doubt. If I were in their situation, I might do the same thing. Yeah. How does that sound? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Rohan and Dinal and Sartak. Let's just keep it quick. Yeah.
Thank you.
Lightning round.
wonderful class. My question is, you mentioned about the devotional activity that we should be grateful and we should not end for more things. Like we should not think
Greedy.
of the more bigger position.
Yeah.
But we should always desire to learn more things to please Krishna, like doing activities like deity worship,
Yes.
learning class, or making prasada. So we can do that. So how can we draw the boundary? Like yes, we should learn this much so that we can be more pleased and we will be satisfied.
Yeah. One manifestation I see, especially in younger devotees, is over endeavor, prayasa. And Rupa Goswami says this is unfavorable. This is vinashati. It can destroy your bhakti. So be sustainable. I want to learn all the instruments. And then so that you'll try to schedule 2 hours of instrument practice every day. I've got to learn all the shastras. And so you're reading 3 different books every day. No, just slow down. We've got a lifetime. And we've got eternity. Just focus on one thing and do that very nicely. Learn the kartals nicely. Learn Bhagavad Gita very nicely. And then move on to the next step. So just put one step in front of the other and don't be in a rush. That's what I can say. Hare Krishna. Yes, Dinal and then Sartak.
Actually, my question is what you asked.
Very nice.
What does it mean to forget?
Okay. Yes. Hare Krishna. Sartak.
Thank you for the clarification. I have to comment on Prabhu's question. I remember reading what Srila Prabhupada wrote that when judge sentences a killer for doing a murder, he's actually having mercy on him. So he don't have to face the karma.
Yes.
So we have to look far beyond this bodily conception
Yes.
and what is good for them.
Very nice. Yes. So, Shreyas, we need to look to someone's ultimate benefit. So right now, chastising my child is what they need so they can learn discipline. Or, law, a lawyer, or judge, sentencing someone, who's a criminal. It's good for them, actually. So, last point.
There's another story about ripping up trees, like Kartavira Arjuna was doing.
Yeah.
There's a pastime, it's in Chaitanya Bhagavat, I think, when Nityananda is preaching to like these little kids, like 5 years old, something like that, and they become so ecstatic, they become pure devotees, they start ripping trees out of the ground. They're babies, practically. They're ripping trees out of the ground.
Yes.
That's another
Yes.
So let's rip trees out like that.
Yeah. If you go to a parade like Pride, you'll see some insanity. But if you want to see some insanity in the spiritual world, read them.
You got to be careful with these stories. If you can tell the limber industries and somebody, they hire you immediately.
Who needs machines? You got pure devotees that just rip out the trees for you. Okay. I'm very grateful to be here with all of you. Many of you are smiling, and that means Tushyati Ashu Janardana, that the Lord is very pleased if you all are pleased. So thank you, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada.